Hello and welcome back for the second match. Again, this will be a replay because I actually played this yesterday. So, if you watched our first match, you know we lost to Ant. Although the second game definitely had points where I had agency and I could have made different choices that might have led to a victory. So, let's see how I did against, this time, it was against, I like to call it aggro loam, 4-color loam, whatever you like. It is the deck that does not have blue, but has everything else. So for this one, let's see. I did not win the die roll, so I will be on the draw. So looking at this hand in the blind, I think I kept this. Yes. So, because depending on what we want to do, we might be able to get the Dryad Arbor out quickly, and then we have some answers to problematic things that come up. Okay, so we see the Badlands. So our first thought is that we're going to be up against Reanimator, which is a little frightening. Alright, Marin, not really the best draw. So we want to hide our information about what might be going on, so actually let on Swamp here, rather than doing the Zenith for Dryad Arbor, which might lead them to believe that we're on Elves. Okay, they cycle Baron more, which now I don't think they're Reanimator anymore. I don't believe I immediately connected this to Aggro Loam, but that will become apparent. So let me try to tap for something, but so we see Ren and 6. At this point I'm thinking maybe it's a kind of Jund deck. They're obviously going to get their Baron more back. Alright, so at this point, I just don't want Ren and 6 doing things, so I'm going to go ahead and blow that up. They do have a basic forest to get. As is typical in Aggro Loam, they usually have the one basic forest. Alright, they play a Wasteland. Here they Zenith for 3, and they're going to get a Knight of the Reliquary. At this point, I'm pretty solid that it's Aggro Loam, given that I'm seeing all 4 colors, Wasteland, Ren and 6. Alright, so we definitely want to take care of this Knight as soon as we can. I'm going to get a Sylvan Library down to try to get some card advantage. See if we can dig for an answer. And I would rather them use an Abrupt Decay on the Sylvan Library rather than the Pernicious Deed. I figure if I can get them to use one Abrupt Decay that they might already have, then maybe then the Pernicious Deed can come in behind. So Lily is a little rough. So I believe I discard the Marin. Oh yes, we discard the Reclamation Sage because there's nothing to blow up at this point. And they're developing their mana. They do have the Abrupt Decay, so they take care of that. Alright, so we have a Veteran Explorer. Not the best draw, but at least it gets in front of a Knight of the Reliquary if they're going to attack with it. Let's see, what did I do at this point? Oh yes, I'm going to go ahead and I think I get a second bet. Oh, I get the Hex Drinker, okay. So this way I can try to develop, I have the Veteran Explorer as for Edict Protection, and the Hex Drinker will hopefully be able to level up enough to get in some damage. So there they get Blast Zone, which is problematic because both of my creatures are 1 mana. We discard the Hex Drinker since we already have the one on the battlefield. So at this point we go ahead and play out the library. We're still hoping that we can try to develop to something. And we go ahead and level up the Hex Drinker, just since we have some extra mana. And we're going to attack Lily down, or we're going to try. But they're going to go ahead and blow that up. Of course, we'll go get lands. Now, at this point, we're really hoping that we draw a land on our next turn so that we can blow up the Knight of the Reliquary. It is unfortunate, though, that they still have the Liliana of the Veil in play. We don't have a good way to pressure it, so it's heading towards an ultimate. So they play out a second knight. We're going to take a bunch of damage. Alright. So we do draw a land, so that's nice. And let's see, Sylvan Library shows us Therapy and Zenith, which are not great. And we don't really have the life buffer to be able to take extra cards, so here we're going to play the deed out, and we don't want them to untap with the knights to be able to get any more advantage, so we're just going to blow them up now. Fortunately, that takes our library with us. Hopefully I stacked my deck to have the Zenith on top. Now, unfortunately here, complete the ultimate. Right, so they're going to Zenith for 3. They get another knight. They're going to separate me basically black sources and something they can wasteland versus my green sources. I'm actually going to keep my green because I know I have a Zenith coming up. So at this point, I forget if I get the oof or if I get... Oh, I think I just get a veteran here, even though I tapped it for 2. Because I think I have one more force that I can pull out of the deck if I block. But if I remember correctly, they have a way to get rid of... Right, so they get Blast Zone, they can blow up the bet, and I'm going to die to this 9/9. Alright. So we lose that game. Let's go back into game 2. Alright, so let's look how we sideboarded. Alright. So against them, so generally they have Chalice of the Void. So we cut some of our 1-drops, although we did bring some in. So we expect them to have Hymn to Turok, so we brought in 2 of our Veil of Summer. Because of all of their, because they're Chalice of the Void, I did cut some Cabal Therapies and a couple of Vets. Basically, I cut Vets first, and then because I'm cutting Vets, Cabal Therapy gets worse. We brought in all the ley lines, because we want to make sure that we shut off their Loam engine and their Renin 6 engine. We brought in the extra Abrupt Decays, because it blows up Liliana of the Veil, it blows up many of their threats. We took out a Plague Engineer, because generally speaking, I don't worry about X1s out of that deck that can't be blown up in some other way. Let's see, what else did I... And then again, because we don't really have anything in the crop rotation package that's especially useful. I didn't see signs that they were going to be running the Dark Depths Thespian Stage combo. They didn't fetch for it very aggressively with all the knights that they had. So I am cutting a Caracas here, although if you do see Thespian Stage or Dark Depths in Game 1, probably don't want to do that, and you probably want to keep the crop rotations in, despite the fact that they're going to have Chalice of the Voids. You'll just have to spend time blowing those up and hope that they don't find a way to win in the meantime. Alrighty. So, we take the play here. We do a mulligan. I did that really fast, so apologies. Um, so this hand, I think, might have also been a mulligan. Let's see. So we also mulligan that one. I want to see something something with a little more action to start with. So this one's good. So we keep this. All right. Wait. They mulligan to 6. All right. So I believe in this one we put the Nurturing Peatland on the bottom and the Witness on the bottom. Yes. Because the idea here, right, we're going to lead on Leyline into Hexdrinker and holding up Abrupt Decay. Okay. So they're going to lead on Fetch Land into Scrubland, and they're going to Thoughtseize our Abrupt Decay. Which, while not the best, is fine. We end up drawing another one anyway. At this point, I'm going to hold up the Abrupt Decay rather than pump this guy, so we're just going to get in there for 2. Alright, so they have a Dryad Arbor. So their mana is developing slowly. So I believe at this point, I actually go ahead and get 3 lands up, and I go ahead and pump all the mana into this guy. So now he's a 4/4. Now he can't be Abrupt Decayed, he can't be Swords to Plowshared, which I think they bring in after board sometimes. And the Dryad Arbor can't kill it. Alright, so they're going to cycle Barrymore into Oblivion because of the Leyline. Pardon while I hydrate. Alright, so they're going to Thoughtseize another Abrupt Decay. And now they play Thalia. Thalia can be problematic, but we have a lot of creatures. Alright, so there's some protection in case they decide they want him to Turok me, or Thoughtseize me again, or play a Liliana and try to downtick to make me sacrifice the Hexdrinker. So we go ahead and, because of the Thalia, we need to have 2 mana up, so we go ahead and just take this opportunity to dump 1 mana into the Hexdrinker as a plan to be able to pump him all the way up. So our opponent plays a Tranquil Thicket. They go ahead and play a Chalice on 1, which nothing we can do about, that's fine. They think they're going to leave Thalia up probably to block, but I'm able to get the 4th mana. We just dump everything into the Hexdrinker, and it becomes a 6/6 with protection from everything. And then we get in the red zone since they're at 5, and this is Dead Town. Alright. So let's go to game 3. Oops. Alright. Alright, so we're going to be on the draw probably, of course. So we mulliganed. So this hand, we do start with the Leyline, and we can go Leyline into Hexdrinker again. And we're halfway to the Assassin's Trophy. So we do keep this. And we end up putting... I forgot what that was we put on the bottom. But we kind of have the plan that we're going to try to do Hexdrinker, hopefully into Assassin's Trophy on something, and then find the second black mana. So we find a Green Sun Zenith here. So we're actually going to fire that off instead of the Hexdrinker to try to get more mana into play. So they end up basically mirroring our play, the Green Sun for Dryad Arbor, and they waste ours. Now, unfortunately, if I remember how the texture of this game went, so we waste their white source, we play out the Hex Drinker, they play a land, comes back to us, and we're going to spend a lot of turns not drawing land, which is unfortunate. So they have a Plague Engineer, which they're going to name Snake, which takes care of the Hex Drinker. So they're going to continue to bash my face in. I find my own Plague Engineer, but I don't have any mana, so it's not very useful. Then they find Sigarda, which is a really big oof because I don't have a good way to get rid of that at all. So I think at this point, especially once I don't draw another land, I believe I just concede at this point. Sort of the writing's on the wall. I'm not going to be able to develop. There's not enough turns left to draw runner lands. I could get rid of the Plague Engineer, but then I have absolutely no way to get in the way of that Sigarda Host of Herons. So well played by the opponent for having good threats and good answers, and boo on my deck for not drawing lands. So in any case, hope you stick around for round 3. Thanks for watching.